Welcome to Monday, the something in February. I forget right now, 17th. I think it's Monday, the 17th of February, 2025, for another live lunch and learn. My name is Tim Wagner. If we haven't had the privilege to meet before, I'm an international speaker and professional pointer, which means that I work with high functioning leaders and teams and pointing them in a new direction to find purpose and meaning outside of a stressed state. And the magic power that I have to use for that is breath work, because I use breath work as the catalyst to create that change within to find purpose, meaning outside of stress, clarity of mind, and just a general all-round calm. How does that sound? And my live lunch and learns, I'm here every Monday at 1 o'clock for 15 minutes to share a little bit of something to take you that much further towards who you want to be. And if you've been following my series, then fantastic, lovely to have you back. If you're here for the first time, at the end of this or below, in fact, you'll find a link to my free Pathfinder community where all my recordings, I've got a lot of information and personal development, and there's a lot of free stuff there for you. Huge value, and I'd love for you to find out more what's possible. Now, today, we're going to be talking about effective goal setting for those who suck at sticking to goals. And it's February. Middle, which means those New Year's resolutions, if you're somebody who still tries and does them, have gone. I would say over 95%, it's died. We're going to cover a little bit of why today and what you can actually do to maintain that focus. Last week, the discussion was very much around creating a purpose statement. And a purpose statement is that guide that helps you on your journey through life. Sticking to this guide, this path, means that when you're confronted with opportunities, you refer back to your purpose statement and you'll know which path to take, because you're going to take the one that's aligned to your purpose, your values. So here we're continuing this to start connecting our goals and dreams to our purpose statement, to our values. As one of the things I've discovered over many, many years of doing this is that when there is no alignment, that's when you're going to change it and you're just not going to bother going. So this is quite an in-depth one. I'm going to break it up into two sections. So today we're going to go through about goal setting and a little bit about the nitty and gritty. Next week is how do you apply this? So hang around for that next week, Monday as well. This is something that I learned in my journey. And I'm going to share with you at the end 6 steps for you to consider that successful people take when they're focusing on their goals. So have a pen and paper ready. And let's climb in. Now, this is an overview of my life mastery journey for ambitious leaders. Today, it's a 7-stage one that I run over 6-month programs. Today, we're going to be climbing in about aligning your goals to your values and specifically starting the creative focus exercise. And it's the actual exercise that I'm going to be sharing with you next week to really help you hone in on the what, the why, the feelings around your body, your home, your family, and your business, which I would say are 4 key or core areas that we would all like to master in a lot more detail. So let's jump into this. If you want to, I love that question up there, by the way. If you want to live your life by design and not by default, how do you actually go about this? So when you consider very successful people, identify someone in your life who you would aspire to be like, that really drives you. Think, wow, if I had a bit more of what they've got there, here and there, how much more successful I can be. Be it anybody as a speaker, for me, Tony Robbins, or perhaps Richard Branson if you're an entrepreneur, or Robin Sharma, if you're a visionary and a real mind and spirit guy. What about the original Walt Disney with the vision that he had? And thousands of other very successful people. Consider, what do they have in common? What do they effectively do that you perhaps are not doing? Could this be an answer as to why 99% of people don't achieve those goals and those dreams? I remember very clearly the first time I became consciously aware of the power of correct goal setting. And it was when I read this statement here. I thought at the time, okay, I got a pretty good life, decent house, Nice car, good job, holiday, money in my pocket, all these great things. Now, if I'd achieved them by default, imagine what is possible by design. How much more effective and successful and how much more joy could I find in life if I knew what to do? So I've been on this journey for over 16 years and I am still a student. In fact, I say 16 years, probably getting on 17 now, because it started in 2008 and I was retrenched. It was the financial crunch back then. I'm sure you may remember those difficult times. But this was the moment of my rebirth. I was 36 at the time. And this was a year that I couldn't find a job, which was great because I began my own hospitality company. I also started network marketing as well. And it was that network marketing became my catalyst for uncovering and discovering what it means to dream. And a mentor of mine at the time said, when the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. I thought, wow, I can dream big. I think I can. And if that's the shortcut to living a life that I would like to live and have my family live and those around me and become an example of what's possible, I can do this. So the mentor said to me, write down 30 things that you want to do, have, and become. So that's 90 to 100 things. Wow, I thought this is good. So I got writing, got to 16 and thought, okay, this is tougher than I thought. I felt beaten and frustrated and no idea what I actually wanted in life. This whole designing thing was not as easily as it should be. It took me a long time to realize that majority of people around me were having the same problem. But why do we struggle with setting these goals? Why do we struggle with actually really identifying what we want in life? Well, we can go back a little bit. In fact, let's go back to the first time that you went to school. Who here, who's listening, were told, stop daydreaming and pay more attention? Tim, stop looking out the window and focus. My report card, if Tim stopped daydreaming so much, he would achieve a lot more. I was labeled as a daydreamer, but what you've got is boring. I want to be out there and I want to live. So it's hammered out of us. Dreaming is not taught at school when it should be. And very rarely is it taught at home because my parents were, what do they call them? Can't remember now, post-Second World War kids. For them, it was about survival. So what did they know about dreaming? Their parents were just trying to get through a war. They weren't taught to dream. They were taught to survive. And that's what they projected onto me, which I then, until I learned, projected onto my son. Fortunately, he caught it early enough. He didn't catch that. He caught on that that's not the thing to do. Wording. So no wonder my list was short. And having connected with a lot of successful people and being guided by my mentor, I saw what was possible and what I found was actually going wrong, what people were doing incorrectly. I became extremely frustrated about this whole goal setting thing. And goals and dreams, what a load of wishy-washy tree hugging stuff. But the more books I read, the more seminars I attended, I started to understand that, hang on a second, there's a lot more here. And a big part of it came when after many years after I'd walked out my corporate career, another story, another time in 2018, and I really started to dive a lot deeper into this law of attraction. What are these universal laws? You can call it universe, call it God, you call it from Jesus, but what are these universal laws of attraction? Then why aren't we able to easily access these laws, to live by them, to attract what it is that we want, manifest what we want, accept into our lives what we want? And I eventually discovered that one of the biggest issues I had is that I was a realist. This is a mouse because I worked for the money. I went and bought it. I know it's a mouse because it works. But I was wrong. And I read many books. Who recognizes this one? Rhonda Byrne's The Secret. My wife threw this at me the first time when it was published in the early 2000s. And the first time I was retrenched. And I thought, wow, this is quite powerful stuff. But there was one key thing which is not spoken about enough in there. There's another book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Phenomenal book, amazing. But there was one word that was redacted from that book to only have it listed a few times. And that word is energy. We are all energy. We are vibration. This is purely energy. Water is energy vibrating at a certain frequency. If you freeze it, it's still vibrating, but at a lower frequency. If you boil it, it becomes steam. It still vibrates, but at a higher frequency. Now, I started to understand this, and a lot of what I'm going to share next week, it comes from this book, Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks, Esther and Jerry Hicks. It was these that started to open me up and going, hold on a second, I'm missing a key thing here, and that is my vibration. I'm high energy. I love speaking. I've always got a lot of energy. But what is it? How do I turn that energy in the right parameters to bring in what it is that I want? And that's the big thing that a lot of people are missing. Let's do a quick exercise. I'd like you to just sit for 30 seconds and think about your dream car. Money aside, in a world of infinite possibilities, what dream car would you want? I like these Jeep Wranglers, I'm pretty darn cool. Put yourself in that car for a moment and close your eyes. How does that car smell? What do the seats feel like? On your butt when you put your hands on the armrest. Hold the steering wheel. Turn on the stereo and hear that crisp and powerful sound system vibrating through your bones. The key's in the ignition. Reach your hand out, grab the key and turn it. As you turn it, put your foot on the accelerator. Feel that engine vibrating through your body. Now in your imagination, how does it feel? What are you feeling like sitting in this car, now driving this new car, your dream car? Do you feel successful? Do you feel proud, alive, free, fulfilled? To buy this car, you've achieved a lot of things. There's a representation of all those things you've achieved in your life. You feel joy, excited, energized, important. Is it the new car you seek, or the feeling that you get from sitting in that car? You see, right now you're vibrating at a level of bringing in that car for you. Stay there. It's not the car you want. It's the feelings that the car gives you. A $10,000 car, $100,000 car. It's a car from A to B. But one is going to make you feel very different to the other. Feelings are a high form of vibration. And when you focus on these high vibrations to help you achieve your goal, you remain connected to it that much longer, sending out that vibration to the universe to manifest that into your life. Negativity brings negativity. Positivity attracts positivity. And in his book, Tony Robbins' book that he wrote called 10 Days to Change Your Life, he said, we get what we focus on. What you focus on determines how you feel. So learn to focus. When you focus on what you want, life instantly starts to improve, but we focus so often on what we don't want. So we're going to shift that and move it around. You understand why, or what are the 6 points that successful people use to succeed? And they're quite common. I'm going to run through those with you now. So grab your pen and let's write. The first one, find what works and stick to it. It's that consistent application of something that makes you feel good. When you're training in the gym or to run a marathon or to swim a mile, it's the consistent application of it over and over again, even when you feel you're not getting anywhere. That's important. So a triathlete succeeds by focusing on their body and focusing on a very specific training modality and stick to that. Oops, too fast. Know what you want and break it down into manageable pieces. Now, this is what we're going to be doing next week. Because the clearer you make the results, the more likely you are to achieve it. Now, wait, next week, we're going to break these goals and dreams down on 4 key areas and help you focus on each of them to identify how it makes you feel. Number 3, ensure your goals are aligned to your values and your purpose. For if they're not aligned, you will give up. You're going to struggle. You're going to get stressed. You're going to think, it's not worth it. Align them. Successful people know why they want them. It's not only having this goal, it's understanding a deep-seated reason why you want it that's going to keep you on track. So it's not the car, it's how the car, it's how the car makes you feel that you want from that. They've got an accountability partner, sharing their goals with like-minded people who will support and encourage. And it doesn't mean generally friends and family around you. They may not be aligned, but align yourself to somebody who's also got the desire. And number 6, they understand and focus on how it makes them feel. Positive thoughts, emotions create positive feelings. So next week, I'm going to be sharing a very specific exercise called the creative focus exercise. It's going to break down 4 key areas of your life. We're going to break them down individually into 4 areas to help you identify how it makes you feel. You focus on that, you're going to vibrate at the right level. This is about energy. We are energetic beings, and I wish you an energized, fun-filled, joy-filled week as I'll see you next Monday at the same time. Ciao for now.